So, wanted to do an OU football talk because I haven't done an OU talk in a while. And I'm going to talk about the UCF game. Yeah. So far, OU we're undefeated. We're 6-0. We're number 6 in the country. We're playing UCF this week. If you guys don't know, I'm going to tell you guys. This is the Dylan Gabriel revenge game, and I have seen UCF play before, and he was there. Um, it was a bowl game, by the way. I got free tickets for that game. Um, when they played Marshall, they stomped them. Dylan Gabriel had himself a day. He had how many touchdowns? I was impressed by his arm. Like I was like, damn, this kid has an arm. This kid looks like an NFL quarterback. Granted, it was Marshall, and it wasn't like a LSU and Alabama, but he's been good in Power Five. But he's good against Power Five teams, and like right now this year, he's a Heisman candidate quarterback, and he gets to get his revenge on his old team, and I think he's going to take this game heartfully. And this is a Gus Malzahn UCF team. He's coached against Oklahoma, but he's not he's coached against the Venables defense, but his offense sucks against Venables. So we will find out. And John Reese Plumlee is their starting quarterback. So I'm a little concerned because that adds in another running dynamic. Now, John Reese Plumlee, OU will never face a quarterback that's mobile as John Reese Plumlee ever again this year. They will not. Unless they play a USC in a bowl game, which I really want to play USC. If we don't make the playoff, USC is the team I want because I want my revenge on Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams. By the way, USC fans, I warned everyone about Lincoln Riley. I was like, he is going to have that 1 year where he's not going to fire Alex Grinch. He's not going to change up at all. He's going to be too distracted because, his buddy, his best friend, Caleb Williams, is the projected number 1 pick, and he's going to want to go coach where he's going to be at. He's going to want to coach in the NFL. He's going to want to coach Caleb in the NFL. Like, he's not going to win. He is not going to win a championship. He's not a championship level coach like Brent Venables. We're in a better shape under Brent Venables than USC will be under Lincoln Riley. And USC is going to be in the Big Ten next year. We're going to be in the SEC next year, and that's going to be tough. The SEC is going to be tough. Now, end the year, I was like, offense is going to score. I had us in the top 25. I had us like 19 in my preseason. Like, I thought we were going to be a good team. I didn't think we would be this good. Now, okay, so week 1, we win 73-0 in a bludgeoning over Arkansas State. That was easy as fuck. Because if you guys, like, Arkansas State, granted, they have some ballers. I know an Arkansas State player. My dog, Reagan Neely, shout out to him. He goes to Arkansas State. He played receiver. I've seen him play. He's actually a good receiver. He's a good football player. It's just OU, Arkansas State just had no answer for OU offensively. They had none. Like, they got manhandled on the offensive side of the ball, and OU just took advantage of every mistake. Week 2, we played SMU. Preston Stone, he's a pretty good quarterback, and we beat them 28-11. I don't remember what the line was for that game. Then we manhandled Tulsa, which I expected us to manhandle Tulsa. I thought we pitch a shutout. We did not. Our first Big 12 game against Cincinnati. Now, defense, that was a phenomenal game. Now, end of the year, that was my concern, the defense. I was very concerned about the defense. Like, I knew it had potential. I was like, can it show to be good? Well, they've showed to be good. Now, then Iowa State comes along. I'm like, what are you doing, defense? Starting out rough. And then we put it on in the second half. Okay, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's move on to Red River. Now, this is the game I was like, if we hold Texas to under 30 points offensively, because Texas can score. Alabama couldn't hold Texas under 30 points. And I don't think our defense is better than Alabama. Well, we held Texas to under 30 offensively, because one of their touchdowns was on a blocked punt. They scored on a blocked punt. Our defense has that bend but don't break mentality. Like, we have that mentality, which it won us the game against Texas, basically. That goal line stand and then Dylan Gabriel's Heisman moment in that drive. Gentry Williams, the guy on my profile picture right now, Billy Bowman. We also have Peyton Bowen, Key Lawrence. Like, the secondary is good. The front seven is physical up front. To be competitive in the SEC, you have to be able to push your opponents around. The SEC is physical. Like, it gets physical in the SEC. You want to know why Alabama and Georgia have been so dominant the last few years? That's because of how built they are up front. The only team that wasn't built up front that had good years was Florida because they were the finesse team. LSU in 2019 was a finesse team. Don't say LSU. LSU started to become like the will punch you in the mouth type team. They're a finesse team. They can finesse as well, especially with Jaden Daniels, who's been putting on a clinic this year. And by the way, I'm excited to play LSU in Death Valley next year. I am excited to play LSU in Death Valley next year. I'm excited to play LSU. I'm excited to play Alabama. That's going to be the biggest home game in a very long time. That is the best team Oklahoma will host since Ohio State. Well, Ohio State just manhandled us. That OU team, the defense was so bad. Like, Ohio State had 45 points. Actually, Ohio State had 38 because Jerome Baker had a pick six. Now, on his now, we will struggle a bit defensively because guess what? Mobile quarterback. That the UCF has a dynamic. John Reese Plumlee is starting. Well, UCF really misses Mikey Keene. Imagine if he came back. UCF would honestly be a little better because Mikey Keene is not that bad. But yeah, Dylan Gabriel's going to take this game. I do think our offense will get it going. I'm not going to get overconfident because UCF is not a bad team by any means necessary. Like, all the newcomers, them and BYU are the best. Because, like, Houston sucks. They need to fire Dana. If they want to be good, they need to fire Dana. By the way, we play Houston next year. We don't play them this year in a conference game. We've never played Houston in the conference game. We will play them next year in the non-conference, though. That is one of our non-conference games. We also play BYU this year. The Mormons, they went into Arkansas and they won. They can compete against an SEC team. Granted, Arkansas, they're not great. They're not horrible, but they're not like special. They should have beat LSU. They should have beat Texas A&M, and then they should have beat Alabama. But if OU doesn't fuck up, which there's a chance that it happens, I am not going to rule that out by any means because we will, for some reason, slip up a game. Hopefully, I'm wrong. We do play Bedlam. This is the last Bedlam game for a very long time. Like, this is the last time we will play Oklahoma State for a very long time because we are leaving, going to the SEC. We are also playing Tennessee at home now. That game I'm looking forward to. There's a storyline in that game. Tennessee's head coach is Josh Heupel. He used to play quarterback at Oklahoma. He used to be an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Like, he used to be at Oklahoma. Left, got a UCF job as an assistant, then became their head coach when Scott Frost left for Nebraska, which that would be a horrible move for Nebraska because Scott Frost really set them back. And now Matt rolls in and he has to clean up all that mess that Scott Frost left behind. Like, he really screwed over Nebraska. And, well, now we got Nebraska. Now Nebraska will be on the rise. They'll get better because Matt Rule is a good coach. He's good in college. I think Nebraska is in better hands with Matt Rule than they were with Scott Frost. Deion Sanders is going to have a rough time in the Big 12. Like, granted, the Big 12 is losing OU in Texas, but it's still not a bad conference, even without those two. You have UCF, Kansas State, TCU, you have Utah coming in, you have Arizona, who's not bad. Arizona's not a bad team. They're not. They're the best free loss team in the country. They should have beat USC. They gave Washington a game, and I think Washington is the best team in college football this year. They would have beat Mississippi State if Delora wasn't terrible. If Delora didn't play that game, Arizona wins. I don't think Arizona's a bad team, like, at all. They're not a bad team. Arizona's not bad. Arizona State is a joke, but again, there's Kansas, who's still solid. Lance Leipold, phenomenal coach. I love Lance Leipold. I just think Jason Bean sucks. Kansas needs to get another quarterback. Now, I am a bit worried about that Kansas game. It's on the road, but it really depends on who's at quarterback. If it's Jason Bean, then if it's Jason Bean, then no, I am not worried. We are winning that game easily. But if it's Jalen Daniels, then I'm a little scared because Jalen Daniels is actually pretty damn good. I'm like, he's good. Jason Bean, he stinks. Like, Kansas fans, if you're watching, Jason Bean just sucks. And now, if he is starting against us, we will pretty easily handle. We will handle y'all up front, and we will get to Jason Bean. Now, Jalen Daniels starts, I think y'all will compete because Jalen Daniels is good. Like, we are a 19.5-point favorite. Honestly, just have like 2 spies stop the run because John Reese Plumlee cannot throw. I love John Reese Plumlee. I'm a huge JRP trooper. I watched him run over LSU, and I watched him have a day against LSU. But I just think that when you have, like, with this defense, that they can stop the run. Like, Jonathan Brooks had his worst game as aim of the season against us. Like, he was pedestrian against us. I think we can handle anyone on the ground. We really can. Now, I don't think we can handle like a Blake Corum and Audrey Destime, Trey Benson. Although Trey Benson didn't do shit against us last year, it was mainly Jordan Travis to Johnny Wilson. Now, I was excited for that game because it was me versus my dad. It was me versus my dad for the second time because I got bragging rights on him when we murdered Nebraska in week 3. Then we played Florida State. I wasn't expecting to beat Florida State. I expected to cover, and we did cover. With how that year went, I'm like, we're not beating Florida State, but I hope we cover, and we did cover. We did cover the spread, but we lost. And Jared Verse is going to go to the NFL. Jared Verse is going to be a top 10 pick. Guarantee it. He will be a top 10 pick along with JT Tuimoloau. I'm putting JT Tuimoloau ahead of Dallas Turner. Like, JT Tuimoloau is a baller. Now, I do not see how Ohio State's not a team. They're not bad, but I just think Kyle McCord, I don't think he's the guy. I don't. And I love Kyle McCord. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I covered Kyle McCord I covered a St. Joe's game when Kyle McCord was there. Marvin Harrison was also there, and Marvin Harrison was murdering Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks was on that IMG team, by the way. And I was like, Kyle McCord, you look pretty good in that game. And then in college, I'm like, oh, he's at Ohio State. Yeah, we're going to be pretty good. And Kyle McCord has proven that he's not a good quarterback now. He had that drive against Notre Dame, but really, that's Al Golden. That was really because of Al Golden. Why are you running prevent in like the final minutes of a game? Like, why are you running prevent? They're in field goal range. They're driving to get down to the goal line. You run normal defense, and you're playing a first-year start. Run normal defense. Send the house. And I said earlier in the USC game, I better see Engage 8 against USC, and that's what Al Golden did. I love what Al Golden did against USC. I better see Engage 8, and that happened. Now, I was right about Riley, how he can handle the physicality up front, and he's going to get destroyed by Oregon and Washington. Will he get destroyed by Utah? No, I don't think so. I think they beat Utah this year because it's simple. Utah's not physical this year. They don't have an offensive line this year. Their defense is worse. The loss of Clark Phillips hurts. Like, if they played us or Texas this year, they'd probably lose because the physicality up front. And by the way, guys, I will make the trip out to Norman to go to a game. I will. All you Oklahoma fans, because I live in Tampa, by the way. I live in Tampa. I was very close to going to the Cheez-It Bowl, but I couldn't. I really wanted to go to that game. Now, it would not have mattered one bit where I sat, because it's a family game. For me, it was me versus my dad. It wouldn't have mattered where I sat because I don't mind Florida State. Um, they've been a team I've liked for a while as well. I've liked OU longer than Florida State. I've always been OU over Florida State and OU over Notre Dame. And but Notre Dame and Florida State are like they're dead even. OU is number one for me. Notre Dame and FSU are basically, but doesn't it didn't matter where I sat. But yeah, OU will be number one. It like OU will just still be number one, and Notre Dame will be two. But Florida State is there. I think OU. I will go to a game next year. Oklahoma. People that live in Oklahoma, if you're gonna watch this, let me know. Best place to eat in Oklahoma. Because next year I'll make sure to go to a game. I will make sure to go to a game up in Norman, Oklahoma. I will make sure to go to Oklahoma Memorial Stadium because I wanted to go to that stadium. Seeing people tell me about, oh, you gotta go to a game in Norman. Norman's the place to be when Oklahoma is really good, and they're usually really good. Like this is the best Oklahoma team since '08. They're complete. Now we have backup guards because two of our offensive linemen got hurt against Texas. Now I do think the offensive line will be better this week because we are not playing a Texas level defense. We are not. And Dylan Gabriel still balled out against Texas. Now that goal line stopped on a second, and then we had the Dylan Gabriel Heisman game moment that drive. But if not for fucking Michael Penix Jr., I've seen Michael Penix Jr. play, by the way, guys. He's a baller. Michael Penix is going to win the Heisman. He is going to win the Heisman. And he's a Tampa boy. He will be the first Tampa boy to win the Heisman. If not for him, Dylan Gabriel would be my Heisman winner. After that Notre Dame USD game, Caleb Williams lost the Heisman. He lost the Heisman Trophy. He is not winning the Heisman. He's not. He just won't win the Heisman. That is how you lose a Heisman. 3 picks in 1.5. You get sacked 6 times. You're in for 4 turnovers. Like, you lost your Heisman. You lost the Heisman Trophy right there. Like, Caleb Williams lost the Heisman, and he's not going to be – it doesn't matter if he beats Penix. He's not going to win it. They're going to look at that Notre Dame game, and he's not going to win it. Because last year, he was not human last year, which is why he won it. Even though they lost to Utah twice, he won it because of how good he was. He did not have a bad game at all last year. This year, he had a pretty bad game against Notre Dame. He had a pedestrian game against Arizona. He's not winning the Heisman. Like, come on. It's going to be either Michael Penix. If Michael Penix does have a bad game, then Dylan Gabriel's going to win it. Because I don't see Dylan Gabriel not having a bad game the rest of the year. Because they're not really playing a good defensive team. And he's going to pad it. And I feel like they're going to pad his stats against UCF because he's going to want to get revenge on them. Because this is a revenge game. He is playing his old team this week. We should win the game. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. Because, yeah, we beat Texas. But anything can happen in college football. Like, I'm fully expecting someone could beat us. Someone could. I do think that. Oh, and Pizzle, I know you're a Tennessee fan. If you are watching this, I want to do a bet next year. OU, Tennessee, I want to do a bet for that game. I want to. I want to bet for that game. When the time comes, when we're on that week, let's get our bet ready. Let's get a bet situated. Anyways, that's going to do it. OU plays UCF this week. I am excited for OU the rest of the year. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.